Manchester United's Premier League campaign suffered a nightmare start after, should I say, a horrific defeat to Hull City in the MKM Arena. Michael Carrick's side were beaten 2-0 by newly promoted Hull City. Now, Shemi Ajayi and Noble Mendy struck in the first half as Hull, despite missing 10 players through injury, produced a vibrant display to stun United at the MKM Stadium. The defeat is a major early setback for United, who finished third last season and are expected to challenge for the title. Carrick has urged his players to remain composed, but the result raises immediate questions about whether United are ready to compete with champions Arsenal, who began their title defence with a convincing 3-0 victory over Coventry. Tottenham also endured a miserable opening day, suffering a heavy 3-0 defeat away to Brentford, despite spending more than £200 million on new players during the summer. Keane Lewis Potter and Vitaly Janelt gave Brentford a 2-goal first-half lead before Michael Coyote added a third after the break. Elsewhere, Crystal Palace lost 2-0 at Everton in Pierre Sarge's first game in charge, while Oliver Glasner's Nottingham Forest also began the season with defeat, losing 1-0 at home to Leeds. Ipswich, meanwhile, marks their Premier League return with a 2-1 dramatic win over Sunderland. Joining myself and Ibitayo in this conversation is a very good friend of the house, sports journalist Robert Wheeler. Robert, a very good morning to you. It's always a pleasure to have you on in the game. Let's get straight into it. Manchester United were expected to challenge for the title, but losing 2-0 to a newly promoted Hull City side is a huge warning sign, if I'm not mistaken. How much should Carrick be concerned by what we saw?
I think he should be very concerned. Obviously, he did well taking over from Ruben Amorim on a caretaker basis last season, but Man United have had a history of caretaker managers doing well, but when they get the permanent job, it doesn't really work out. I think they are probably a bit reluctant to give him the job after what happened with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but it's still early days. It's only the first game, so it's a big reality check for United. But yeah, I think the hopes that they could challenge for the title have gone already.
Okay, but Robert, in terms of comparing managers now, because you just mentioned Solskjaer, Carrick has chosen calmness rather than publicly criticising his players after the defeat. Is that the right leadership approach at this stage, or does United's performance require a much stronger reaction?
Yeah, I think Mike Carrick would be a calming presence, and yeah, I think it's smart to do that rather than, because he doesn't want to lose the dressing room this early on. I mean, it's a Hull City side who confidence can be high. They've just been promoted. They're playing at home, so yeah, I think it's smart that Michael Carrick to keep the players on side and not lose the dressing room.
Okay, Ibitayo, Tottenham spent more than £200 million, but were comfortably beaten 3-0 by Brentford. Does this defeat expose weaknesses in their recruitment and rebuilding strategy, or should De Zerbi simply be given time to integrate, the new players into the team?
It's basically a new sport. I mean, time will be given. Sign the right players. I think everybody agreed. He signed the right players, square pegs and square holes. It will take time to build that team. Tottenham Hotspur, 2 seasons in a row, they battled relegation. It's a change of mentality for some of those old players. And some of those new players didn't start out rightly. Some are not fit to start. But eventually, I think Tottenham will do better than they've done in the last 2 seasons. So it's like Wheeler actually pointed out, like Manchester United, it's still early days. It's too early to press the panic button now. Give him time, he will definitely work it out.
Okay. Robert, Arsenal have already opened their title defence with a convincing win. After the contrasting performances from Arsenal, Manchester United and Spurs, is it already possible to identify the teams most likely to challenge for the title?
I'm not sure you can after one game, to be honest, albeit Arsenal look well in the Community Shield as well. They do look very strong. And of course, we've still got Liverpool and City still to play. So, yeah, after one game, I think it's probably a bit too soon. But Arsenal, they have looked very strong in their Community Shield, being Man City and on the game on Friday night as well.
Yeah. Okay, I know you've said that we shouldn't read too much into the opening day results, but several new managers, including Pierre Sarge, Oliver Glasner and Gary O'Neill, experienced very different opening days. But how much importance should we attach to the first weekend, and which of these managers has the biggest job ahead of them?
I guess probably the newly promoted one. I guess maybe Gary O'Neill, but he has managed in the Premier League before at Wolves and Bournemouth, where he did a good job. And he at Strasbourg, he's got, I think Ipswich made some shrewd signings. But yeah, I think all. Yes, Iraola, he's got a big job at Liverpool, Xabi Alonso at Chelsea. I guess all these managers have pointed to prove some of Premier League experience, but maybe not as at big clubs like that. So they've all got a big task, I guess. But yeah, they're fighting for different stuff, competing for Europe or relegation battle.
Okay. We would continue to assess the managers as the season progresses. Let's quickly take a look at the fixtures today before we let you go, Robert. Brighton taking on Aston Villa, Manchester City taking on AFC Bournemouth, Newcastle United versus Liverpool. We know that is going to be the major talking point. Would you want to give scoreline predictions for the 3 games, Robert?
Yep. So I think Villa, they've lost some good players, haven't they? Morgan Rogers, Yuri Tielemans. They're playing a Brighton side who they drew 0-0 with Tromsø earlier in the week, the trip to Norway. But I think with home advantage, just expect Brighton to win that one. Then City against Bournemouth. Be interesting to see how City need to respond, of course, after losing the Community Shield, but playing the Bournemouth side who've got a new manager. But I expect a Man City win in that one. Probably 2-0. And then Newcastle-Liverpool, that's quite a mouth-watering tie, but Newcastle have sold a lot of their players, like Tonali and Guimaraes, and with the Alexander Isak going back to face his former club, I expect a Liverpool win in that one, maybe 2-1.
Okay, all right. Then you heard the scoreline predictions right there from Robert Wheeler. So put your money where your mouth is. Robert, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. We hope to have you on subsequent editions where we can continue to unravel the mystery of the English Premier League. Do enjoy the rest of your day.